Matter. What do we know about matter? Everything around us is made up of matter. The desk you're sitting is matter. The laptop that you're using is matter. The air that you breathe is matter. What are the three types of matter that we know? Solid, liquid, and gas. In solid, the molecules are arranged closely together. In liquid, they are a little close together, whereas in gas, they are far apart. Matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. So what makes up matter? There are small particles called electrons, protons, and neutrons that make up an atom. And these atoms are the building blocks of matter. Moving on to the next slide. This scientist called Democritus was the first scientist that used the word indivisible for an atom. What does indivisible mean? Indivisible means that the atom cannot be divided further. Now let's learn about the three ways that you can measure matter: volume, mass, and density. What's volume? Volume is the amount of space anything in this world occupies. For example, a cube, a rectangle, a cylinder, or a sphere, or a cone. Mass: how much matter there is in an object. Density: how tightly packed particles are in a substance. For example, this has got high density, this has got low, and as the number of particles keep on reducing, it means the density is also less. Moving on to the next slide. You can pause in this slide and take down notes. Volume is a three-dimensional space occupied by solid, liquid, or gas. Here we have a cube. To measure the volume of a cube, we can use this formula wherein we multiply length times width times height. Volume of a cone would be 1 by 3 pi r square h. The formula for sphere would be 4 by 3 pi r cube. Formula for a cylinder would be pi r square h. Now that we've seen the different formulas for different shaped objects, what will we do if there is an irregular object? We'll use something called water displacement method. Now let's see what's a water displacement method. So for example, you have a rock and you maybe want to measure the volume of that particular rock. So what you do is you'll take a jar that has measurements in it, measuring jar, and then you'll fill it up with water. And you will note down the initial marking, which will be V1, volume 1. And then you're going to drop this rock that you have, and now you're going to see the water level. You're going to mark the value as volume 2. The difference in volume 1 and volume 2 would be the volume of this rock that you have. So it's simple, yes? Moving on to the next slide. Mass versus weight. So what is mass? Remember, we saw in our previous slide that mass is the amount of matter in an object. How is mass different than weight? You might think, oh, mass is the same as weight. No, mass and weight are totally two different things. We know that the mass is the amount of matter in an object, whereas the weight is the amount of force an object exerts on earth. So it has to do with gravity. It has to do with the force of gravity. Yes, if you move from earth to moon to space, you are going to remain in the same size, but your weight is going to keep on changing. So density is the amount of particles that are packed in a particular object. The formula of density would be D is equal to M divided by V. That's mass and that's volume. At home you can do a small experiment where you can take a glass and pour in some honey and then pour in some dish soap and water, and you will see that because of the difference in the density of these three substances, the more dense one is going to settle down, less dense one on top of it. Example of something that can be in all the state of matter. Answer would be water. So in the water cycle, the water undergoes all the three different states. As you can see that you have a lake in here. Because of the sun, the water gets heated up and then there's going to be evaporation. Yes, there's formation of water vapor, and that water vapor would evaporate and then condensation occur, which means formation of clouds, and then precipitation would occur, which is pouring down of rain, and the rain gets collected in the lake. So how do we see the different state of water in the water cycle? You see the solid state in the clouds wherein there are small little ice crystals. Then you see the liquid state in the form of rain, and water vapor would be the gaseous state.